Hey everybody, Spartan here from SpartanTrading.com. Want to hit you guys with another trade review, and in this video, just want to talk about a couple things that I think are relevant to the market that make sense to be watching in the short term. Now, what's been going on the market? Obviously, recently, SPY's been pulling back. QQQ's pulling back. Basically, tech names have been selling off. You've been seeing some rotation into opening names, value-based names, yada yada. That's what's going on now. As the market is stabilizing here and the rotation continues to occur, you're getting less weight on the tech in the S&P, and you're seeing that the bounces are sustainable. And because of that, you're seeing individual names, sectors, etc., actually getting sustainable bounces as well. So as that occurs in the future, well, going forward, we'll see how long it lasts. But as it occurs, it's a good idea to be able to recognize these patterns because you can capitalize on them, and there's a lot of range back to the upside on these bounces if you know what to look for. So I just want to quickly talk about that and basically what I'm doing. What I did today, all day today, basically did it a whole bunch of different trades, and it worked out nicely. Now, not super complicated. What I'm doing is I'm just looking for downtrend breaks, EMA support reclaims. Now, I'm not sure what EMA levels you use, guys, but if you use a shorter term EMA, something from, let's say, like 4 to 15, maybe 20, you're looking for a reclaim of that EMA support, and that's going to act as your fluid trend line. The trend line itself is obviously going to be a fairly static trend line. I'm just going to draw one on here on FUTU. You're going to get probably two in the short term. Right now, you have this longer term trend line, which you can see right there, and then you have a shorter term trend line, which is more of a kind of falling knife type of move. Now, what I've been looking for is this kind of falling knife type of trend line breaking to the upside and looking for a continuation back to that longer term trend line. So looking for essentially a break at this level and a continuation push back to this level. And then, of course, you can use your EMAs, et cetera, et cetera. Now, the main idea on this play today, which was FUTU, was that break of that trend. I was looking for the trend to break, and then I was looking for it just to hold up. So we can see that trend break to the upside here. Based off of that, I took some long on FUTU, added into it almost immediately. 140.80, 140, only one's popping up. 140.808. My eyes aren't great right now. There we go. Zoom in, I can see it a little bit better. And then as it pushed to the upside, I basically was just scaling out. Sold some at the 142.52 spot, so a couple points on there to the upside, well, point and a half. And then sold some at 146. So, whatever that is, 4 or 5 points to the upside. As it pushed into this level, I was actually selling into it. So 146.83, 149.81, 150.63 there. So at this point, 10 points to the upside. And then at the end of the day, I didn't want to swing this name, so I just ended up waiting for a last-minute push as it broke that range to the upside. Ended up selling into that level at 154.62. So, roughly 14 points, 13.8, whatever, to the upside. Great trade. Held EMA support all day, held the trend, basically was just scaling out as it went. And yeah, it actually was a scalp trade, so I went in pretty big right away because I was like, oh, maybe I'll make a couple points on it. I saw it was holding the trend. I saw that it had room after it broke this level to the upside, so I ended up just holding it. And the market obviously was very bullish today, continuation across the board. Another play that is similar to that, guys, Sol. Watching the, you can see I trade this thing a lot, but I was watching the EV sector. Essentially, not the EV, sorry, the solar sector. And basically what I've been looking for is a bottom on the names. I took some tan yesterday on that extension to the downside, but I also saw that, this name was breaking its parabolic or falling knife. Downtrend, it had room to retest short-term EMA support, as well as it was reclaiming its short-term EMA support as well on the daily. So I've been watching these names, quite closely. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you'll know because I always shout them out if I have an idea on them. But anyways, broke the downtrend, took it long, basically right out the gate, added into it immediately. As it pushed to the upside, was scaling out. So grabbed a bunch at 11.48. Sold a little bit at 12.29, 11.79, and then more at 13.61. And essentially, I did hold a little piece overnight tonight. But, overall, decent trade. 2 points to the upside. Pretty straightforward. Nothing, very complex. Essentially, just playing a downtrend break and EMA support reclaiming, and just looking for continuation to the higher EMA resistance levels to be retested, or next resistance levels on the daily to be tested. One thing to note, guys, is you need to have room to the upside. Make sure the risk reward makes sense. Otherwise, it's probably not worth taking. I always look for a 3-to-1, something like that. So that's SOL. That is FUTU. I want to talk about one more. Might as well, because we're going quick here. TIGR, which was another one. So TIGR actually overnighted some. Grabbed some, before the close. Ended up selling in the pre-market at 17.39. Lucky me. And then basically, again, just watching this thing, parabolic trend that was broken. It was actually extended to the downside, which is why I took some long overnight. Broke the parabolic downtrend right out the gate. I was looking for a continuation back to the 50 MA, which it did go right into. And yeah, pretty straightforward again. Downtrend broke, took some long in the morning, added into it immediately. So 12.79, added into it 12.82. And then essentially had the stop set and then just sold into the pop. So sold some at 18.04, sold some at 18. Whoa, let's zoom in again. I can't see it. Sold some at 18.81, which was last day high resistance area, which always makes sense because that acts as a range resistance. And then as it pushed into the 50 EMA, sold a little bit more and basically was out of it at that $20 area. So TIGR, another one. Actually, I'm holding some calls on this overnight as well, but TIGR on the equity side, fairly straightforward. I actually have an investment position on this as well. But anyways, intraday trade, fairly straightforward, downtrend break, continuation of the 50 MA. Watch for these types of trades. Definitely can capitalize on them if they're occurring. Don't fight the trend. Play these things as you would normally play them intraday, in regards to using your trend lines intraday, using your EMAs, supports, or whatever you guys use. But as the market, if the market continues to bounce, there's going to be more of these opportunities, and the risk reward is certainly to the upside right now. I think it's fairly skewed, where you have, how much lower can we go on some of these names until we hit massive support levels, and there's obviously plenty of room to the upside if they can't confirm downtrend breaks. So anywho, just thought that would maybe help you guys out. Want to do a quick little trade review on that. If you guys have any questions, you can always go to SpartanTrading.com. Thanks for watching.